I'm Vanessa.
I'm Travis.
And we are late to the party, and it's another marvelous edition of
Better Late Than Never.
Norse edition.
Look what you did there.
So we've got another tentpole character joining the fray after Iron Man. Granted, you know, there was a couple more excursions in there, but Thor eventually joined the bunch.
This movie was released May 6th of 2011. Had a budget of $150 million. Successful amount of $449.3 million.
A little less than Iron Man, but still good.
Directed by Kenneth Branagh.
Of course.
Love him.
What's crazy is that this movie has been in production about production for a while.
Sure.
Sam Raimi was originally envisioned the idea of Thor making it after Darkman. Back in 1990. He met even with Stan Lee and had presented the concept to 20th Century Fox and really wanted to go with it, but just the idea was lost on them, so they abandoned it. It was gone. Matthew Vaughn was actually originally assigned to direct it with a 2010 release, but stuff came up, he had deals, so they kind of dropped it, and then that's when Branagh was approached to direct.
That would have been an interesting take on it, too, seeing Matthew Vaughn do it. Especially, you know, with what he's given us with X-Men First Class, Kick-Ass, and Kingsman. I feel like he would have played well within the realm of not being so vulgar and crazy over the top, because look how James Gunn did, because he came from that world and then did a damn good job with Guardians of the Galaxy. So, and now everyone's starting to see that kind of Thor Guardians of the Galaxy connection, for better or worse. So I think Vaughn would have done a pretty damn good job.
It
would have been the other way around. It would have been like, oh, you see similarities from Thor to...
Well, let's watch this movie that stars Chris Hemsworth, Natalie Portman, and Tom Hiddleston.
Let's do it now.
It's not easy to do what you did. You made my men look like a bunch of minimum wage mall cops.
I love the over-the-top sound of the punching.
Would you like to tell me where you received your training?
Afghanistan.
Afghanistan? Chechnya? Who are you?
I felt bigger.
I have sacrificed much to achieve peace. For through your arrogance and stupidity, you have opened these peaceful
With
realms
Anthony
of
Hopkins,
innocent
too.
lives to the horror and devastation of war. You are a vain, greedy.
You are an old man and a fool.
Unworthy!
My costume.
Now take from you your power. I cast you out!
Pissed off Dave.
Please open your eyes.
No, this is Earth, isn't it?
Woo! Get that shot.
Shameless.
Would you call it science? I come from a place where they're one and the same.
Yeah. Oh,
So young.
so young and so good.
He has disobeyed his king. His fate is in his own hands now.
Hondo. Yeah.
I will end this.
Look at that. I love that shockwave.
This is too when they were pushing the 3D.
Right, yeah. They're definitely getting into
I'm
that
Thor.
over-the-top, in-your-face 3D abilities.
But I will say though too, so right off the bat, it does remind me of those little tidbits that Conan used to do when the movie came out, and it was like, I'm Thor, I felt bigger. Yeah, take this, bitch. Like I even had like tidbits of that as my ringtone when the movie, like when those came out, and so it was great.
Hell of a cast, amazingly well put together. Branagh did an amazing job coming in and giving
Relatively
us
new cast too.
yeah, for the most part, yeah.
Like, yeah.
Because looking at this, granted, yes, you have Tony Hopkins, you have Rene Russo, you have Natalie Portman, which were not new to the screen at that point, but you had freaking Heimdall, and I didn't know who he was back then. I just knew it was Heimdall. I didn't think that, oh dang, Idris Elba, like, you've got these stars before they were heavy hitters.
Right,
Tom Hiddleston.
like Tom Hiddleston, Chris Hemsworth. I mean, we didn't know who Chris Hemsworth is. We didn't know who Tom Hiddleston was at this time. And look how, like, this is just a perfect example of how, like, Chris Hemsworth, but I want to shine a light to Tom Hiddleston as Loki. I mean, out of all, like, looking back on all the characters, all the villains that they've had, Loki has been the forefront that everybody's kind of gone, like, gravitated towards, and granted it's probably because his devilishly handsome good looks as well, but he did such a good job as Loki, as the god of mischief.
I think that's where Marvel Studios
charismatic
was winning, is getting the right actors to play the right roles.
Right.
Because if you know, Hiddleston was up and he auditioned for Thor, and they're like, well, we like you, but you just don't have that Thor look or like. Maybe you should play Loki, and clearly that was the best role for him. I don't think the movie would have been as successful if you had him playing Thor. I'm not saying he couldn't have done it. It's just maybe he plays a better version.
He plays a better Loki, and Chris Hemsworth plays a better Thor.
And
for sure,
it was definitely consistent with what they were doing at that moment, because I did love Tim Roth as Abomination. I loved Jeff Bridges as Obadiah Stane. Like, just keep it going. I love what they are doing with these villains. Granted, it goes off the deep end when they start throwing a whole bunch at you, like with Justin Hammer and of course Whiplash. But damn, like, Tom Hiddleston ended up making his mark in the Marvel Cinematic Universe as number one. Like, he is in the top tier.
He's still there. Like still promote him in the like, even now with Endgame, with the posters, they have a poster of him. It says "Revenge the Fallen." I mean, Avenge the Fallen. Avenge the Fallen. I mean, out of
Loki's more Revenge the Fallen.
Yeah, but out of all those characters, I mean, he's getting his own show on Disney Plus, so it's really like he's really took in this role and kind of just made it his own, and now you can't really see anybody play Loki but Tom Hiddleston.
I have something to admit about this movie.
Sure.
When it came out, I was kind of upset.
Really? Well, I get it.
The Marvel Universe is still in its infancy, and it was one of those characters, I'm like, Thor? Who cares about Thor? Other people, other characters that could make a movie about. Why this guy? I went and saw it opening weekend. And I walked in, like, whatever, it's stupid, has popcorn, drink a Coke. 2 hours later, I was like, that's the greatest movie I've ever seen. I was completely changed. This happens rarely where I go to a movie, my opinion is just flipped like this. Yeah. It was beautiful, it was well acted, the story, it was great. Characters just embodied everybody. Everyone had an important role, and every character was important, and they all played perfectly, and they carried that into the sequels of Thor as well.
And it is a movie I saw 3 times again, just like Iron Man, 3 times. I had to take my mom to see it. I was just like, oh my god, they're killing it with these movies. Come check this one out. And it just blew me away. And partly the score again.
Oh, yeah,
the score. I mean, in the first one, now you had freaking
Patrick Doyle.
That's the one.
Yes, I mean, Patrick Doyle, I love the music of Thor as well. And I thought Patrick Doyle did such a good job with this too. Granted, I love Patrick Doyle before too, when he did the 4th movie for Harry Potter anyway, so I kind of was familiar with his work from that. And so seeing him coming in, and of course he would be the composer, because him and Kenneth Branagh do basically everything together. So it was
Dancing in the Rain.
It was basically
brunch and breakfast.
I will put Thor a little bit higher on my list of MCU movies than most. I really, really thought that this was a good addition to the cinematic universe as far as Thor goes. And again, it was a risk, because Thor, even though Iron Man was there, Thor was kind of lower than Iron Man though too at that point as well. You didn't really know a whole lot about Thor at all. And so coming out and doing Thor, I thought that was a good addition to it. And I mean, look where he's gone so far now. I mean, he's doing pretty well for himself. So
But yes, that music, that Patrick Doyle score, when they took that over and used it with Mark Mothersbaugh and Thor Ragnarok, like, so iconic. And that's the thing, is when we talk about scores for heroes, whether it's, the more recent, like Shazam, or you end up having scores like Iron Man, where something iconic that could stick with them. It is a part of them. You didn't get that with Iron Man 2 or Iron Man 3. You didn't get that with a lot of the like Avengers 2 versus Avengers 1, but you got it with Thor, where you hear that score, it's Thor. Like Alan Silvestri did it with the Avengers, to where they brought him back for
he also
Infinity
did it with
War.
Captain America.
He did it with Captain America, and Henry Jackman embraced that again with Captain America, the Winter Soldier. So this one definitely hits all the marks for me when it comes to one of my favorite MCU movies. Iron Man, Thor, they are definitely
one of the origin
ones,
yeah.
Of course.
What I like about Thor, it's not a grand movie.
No,
it's very small, very simple. It's all like in one town. It's not like the other MCU movies where they're just everywhere and it's so big and epic. It's here, the small New Mexico place where 95% of the movie all happened.
But it starts that way, big and epic, and then it throws you into a fish out of water story, you know? You get to see him in his element, in his prime, and then you take that, you know, God amongst men, and
it made
like,
him more like a mortal man.
Yeah, but
throwing his beer down, I want more.
And it was funny. There's your comedic aspect to it, seeing that, seeing Kat Dennings and Natalie Portman and
Stellan
Skarsgård all together with him. Like, it fits so well to the point where it took on its own movie.
And he took on his own character. The fact that they've been able to grow his character into something different.
Right.
I'm not... Thor Ragnarok is probably my least favorite one.
Sure.
Because I feel like it really is so much different from the first two Thor movies or even the Avengers on how that character is portrayed. I'm not saying it's my... I hate it. I like the way they've developed
like out of all
Thor
the Thor
character.
movies.
The fact that they even do spoofs, you know, with his roommate. You know, it's just fun. They took the character and really went with him.
Yeah, see, with this one too, I do want to, this is kind of the first movie besides Iron Man 2-ish that we got a little bit more of Coulson as well. And this was also the first movie that you got a little bit of Hawkeye. You saw him just a little bit. That's all you need, just a little tiny bit.
Another nuanced thing. If you didn't know your comic book, you didn't know who he was.
Exactly, and you kind of go and you're like, oh, who's that? But like for those who know the lore, know Avengers, or know Marvel, they're like, oh, that's Hawkeye.
And I do love that they use Coulson as the connective tissue in the trailer, because that's going to be the first thing everyone sees is the trailer. You throw him in right off the bat, you're like, oh dang, that's the guy from Iron Man. Like, they're connecting the tissue for the lamers, you know, for anybody who doesn't know, like, Thor, what's that? Oh, I remember him from Iron Man. Oh, this is another Avenger joining up. Okay, I'll go watch this because it's connecting the story. And then you end up having the consistency of the Stan Lee cameos in this one. I love that.
This is one, like, if we're talking about cameos for Stan Lee, this is one of my favorite ones. Did we get it? When he's in the truck and the thing flips and they're all laughing, he's like, did we get it? And he's looking back. It's so good.
All around a great movie, great score, great cast. And yeah, I could see how you could kind of feel upset in a way that you didn't get that same feel for the Thor Ragnarok, because it all gets destroyed. It's like, you know, you took something that I loved and you're smashing it down and getting rid of it, but they always said it was coming. That's what Ragnarok was. So it makes sense within the realm of their realm. So
even if you look at this trailer for Thor and that trailer for the third one, how completely different it is. Completely. This is more serious, this is what's going on, he is the god. And the other one's more cheeky fun, like, hey, we're going to have a good time.
This is more God of War, Ragnarok is more Mass Effect. So it definitely does kind of go off a different way, but you know what? I'm okay with that because it's growth. But what did you guys think of Thor when it first came out? Let us know down in the comments below. What's your favorite Thor moment? Tell us down there. You can also like and subscribe.
And did a thing on our Facebook, Twitter, Tumblr, Instagram, Stardust.
All the social networking gin joints, you know where they are. Kicking the party, fuel the party, keep the party going on our Patreon. Gets us where we need to go. Check out the reaction we did to Iron Man last week. And of course, we're going to keep trudging through the Marvel MCU until we get to Endgame. So thank you, Travis.
Thank you. Just a few more weeks away.
We're almost there. So thank you guys, and as always,
now it's time to say goodbye.
This party is over. Bye.
Another.